Hello, Blake Sherwood here, Realtor with Compass and team leader Sherwood and Company. I figured today, as we're coming up on Thanksgiving week in 2023, that we would talk a little bit about selling in the winter and especially selling in the winter this year, since we have a lot of interesting things happening in the market in general. So the first thing I want to kind of tackle is, what's happening in the market and how is this going to affect the winter? I want to tackle last week's Tuesday CPI um, data. It came in a tenth lower than expected month over month and year over year. That's good. Core CPI relates to inflation, and that means what the Fed is doing is working even better than projected. When that happened, you saw yields tumble as investors saw the Fed policy having a positive effect and what they're trying to do. Now, Thursday morning, this is last Thursday, uh, initial jobless claims came in higher than expected, um, which kind of means that the U.S. labor market, which has always been very resilient, may be showing slight signs of strain. Now, this isn't guaranteed, but it kind of showed a little bit of evidence towards that. Now, it would be great if the Fed would say that they're done with rate hikes. It seems very possible they may be done with rate hikes, but they continue to say that they're um, data dependent, and if they need to do another hike, they will. That said, the sentiment seems to feel that we may see some lowering of rates coming into 2024. So I talk about this because the feeling in the market's feeling a little bit more active. Buyers are seeming to be a bit more into their searches, and that's a good thing. So talking a little bit about selling in the winter. So there's kind of two challenges selling in the winter. First one is generally seasonally, you tend to see less buyer activity. Just in general, it's cold. People don't want to be out there. If you don't have to move, they don't need to. That said, relocation, for jobs, there's a lot of reasons that people have to move in the winter, and those people are super motivated. The the second thing is, inconvenience of moving in the cold. So, we don't even want to walk to our cars if they're parked outside, not to mention move all our stuff out into a new property. So those are kind of the negatives and the challenges of moving in the winter. The benefits, though, for sellers when you have to, or there's a situation where you need to sell, or it's just this is what works with your situation, is there is less competition, meaning there's less sellers out there bringing the inventory even lower than what is already historically low inventory. So when you have incredibly low inventory and there are buyers that have to move around, having that less competition does benefit the sellers that do have their properties on market. Um, just not have to, it has to be the right buyer for the right property. And then you have motivated buyers. Like I said, it's cold. A lot of people don't want to move in the winter. The people that are looking are very motivated, because there's a reason why they're moving in the winter. So we're going to go in the situation. You have to move in the winter. So what are the marketing tools? What can we do to help maximize the chances of selling in the winter? So one of the things is if it's a single family, we're really going to be trying to accentuate any scenic views you have. It has to be targeted marketing. You can't use, beautiful summer photos when you're listing a property in the winter, um, because it just shows a disconnection from what's actually happening. Um, Also, garages, obviously, in the summer, well, it could be a benefit to the buyer, and that may be something that they put on their list. It's not as apparent as when you're in the middle of the winter, scraping ice off of your windows. And when you're looking at properties, it's very top of mind for buyers to have somewhere dedicated to park when there's plowing happening. If it's a condo in the city, obviously street parking is not great. So having that dedicated parking is a huge benefit when selling, and having garage for a single family for potential buyers who may not have garages or places to park is a great benefit to those buyers coming in, and you want to highlight that. Also, fireplaces. So winter feels cozy. That's kind of the vibe you're trying to give when you're selling in the winter, is a cozy feeling, right? Somewhere you want to cuddle up on the couch and watch Netflix, or put the fireplace on, or start a fire, have that great aroma, have that warming effect. So fireplaces will be kind of a center point of a lot of photos when trying to sell in the winter. Now, other things to think about when you're selling in the winter, you really have to think about safety. So, liability wise, making sure that things are plowed, paths are plowed, driveways are plowed, and there is the ability for buyers to get into the property and feel safe when they get into the property, both for them thinking about moving to the property, and for you if somebody was to slip and fall. Um, you want to make sure that we're giving the best experience to people, and they're not walking, trudging through snow trying to get into a showing. Now, moving on to kind of the marketing that we do that may be a little bit different. Obviously, we talked about that cozy feeling, that feeling of wanting to be in the home in the winter. Um, there's things kind of like lifestyle video where, say you have a hot tub, watching the steam come off the hot tub, when the sun's coming up, that would be a beautiful vibe that people may want to see. Sometimes it's possible, sometimes it's not. Maybe you don't have a hot tub, maybe you don't have a fire pit on your patio that we can't accentuate. But other things that you want to do, drone photography, you're not going to get that beautiful lawn view because it's going to be covered by snow. You are still going to get a nice portrait view of the front of the house with the snow. But getting that drone view really shows you the property, which is good. People like to hibernate in the winter, so you may not get as many private showings from tire kickers. But one of the things that you can do to get people to still see it is what's called a Matterport virtual tour. Matterport virtual tour, similar to Google Street View. They come in, they do 360 view videos all through the property, tie them all together into a floor plan that so people can look at it at a dollhouse view from above, or feel like they're actually walking through the property um, in the quote unquote street view look. There's also one other thing, or there's a few other things that we like to do, but one of those things is a virtual open house. So with Compass, they give us a platform where we can actually do a virtual open house. We can also, open up a Facebook Live during a virtual open house. And this is just us walking through the property, taking questions as they come, and videoing the property live with people looking through their computers. So this is a great way to bring in more eyes, even if they're not in person. Um, Again, getting the highest price is bringing in the most people, creating the most competition. Um, Now, other than that, we have to be really on point with our pricing. Since there's the possibility of not having as many buyers through, you want the buyers that are looking at it to be looking at it because it could be the property that they want to actually purchase. So when we're pricing the property, it's very important that we're getting really detail oriented on our data views based on trends from past winters, and how to price the property to make sure that it sells. So there's a lot of things that we think about. Every single property is unique. So every single property comes up with a totally specialized marketing plan and strategy for how to get the property sold. And every single year, we go into Thanksgiving thinking, oh, it's going to be a slow couple months. And every year we do two, three, four transactions, December, January, um, and happy sellers, and everybody's happy. People get to move in. So it's not a terrible time, like a lot of people say. And I hope I went through some of the benefits and some of the things we can do to make sure the property sells. All right, have a great day.